Now, it's the 2nd of August 2018 at 2:15 p.m. Okay, I'm going to start off this video by asking you a question. If you got abused, say you I don't know, anywhere, and you got abused by someone who you knew was an alcoholic and was well known to be an alcoholic, they went off at you and belittled you and attacked you and insulted you and tried to have a fight with you, and you knew they were an alcoholic, what would be your reaction if somebody, to somebody else? You're sitting there, I'd say it was in a park or something, and this guy came up to you dressed in a shabby old overcoat, and he had a bottle of wine coming in his hand and another one in his pocket, and started attacking you and insulting you. What would you and your friend, you're sitting there with a friend, what would you do? How would you react? Would you look at one another and go, "Oh my God, isn't that disgusting? Did you hear what this man just said to me?" Or would you sort of shrug your shoulders and just think, yeah, okay, mate, and walk away? Now, alcoholism is a mental health issue, and you know it. So if somebody is clearly an alcoholic and they're abusing you and using abusive behaviour and what have you, then you know inwardly that they have a mental health issue, and there is just no point in even discussing insanity. I mean, you just walk away from it, don't you? You just really have to. There's nothing else you can do, I mean, you might pity the person or whatever, but I mean, you're not going to. I mean, it just. Oh, I don't know. Unless you are of the type that I don't think anybody would. I think we know what alcoholics are, and we just okay, we just nod our head and think yep, fair enough, okay, they're going now. Talk to you later when you're sober. What I'm going to suggest to you is narcissism is not much different from alcoholism. In fact, I don't know which way it goes, but one of them is a derivative of the other. I'd also suggest that. I don't see any studies to it. It's just a personal thing. I've sensed that there's some sort of nexus between the two. I don't know what it is. I've seen a couple of, I've tried to research it on the net, a couple of articles there, but not much. I think it's much stronger than it's being led on. As I said, I don't know whether it's one or the other is, but they seem to go hand in hand. Oh, just as a classic example, Adolf Hitler's father was an alcoholic and a brutal one. Hitler himself didn't drink, nor did he smoke, nor did he eat meat. But the point was he didn't drink. Okay. So he had some rather strange habits, but alcohol wasn't one of them. And I've noticed that some of the worst narcissists I've met are teetotal. They don't drink at all. I'm not saying that all non-drinkers are narcissists. It's just, and look, it's just none of it is, or that even drinkers can be narcissistic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a couple of drinks. There's nothing wrong with doing some of these things occasionally. But like an alcoholic, when that's all you're doing, and you're not getting up here, and all you're doing is down here, then I say you've got the very same problem that an alcoholic has. I'll go further. This is anecdotal evidence because this is how I live. I drink, and it builds. Okay, I've noticed over my life, it builds. It starts off okay, and then it just builds. And I've made a habit so many times now of squashing it. You just no, that's it. Stop, slow, stop. Put the brakes on, and there's a crash. So many times, and I could probably give up altogether, but I don't want to. I don't know why I don't want to, but it's just part of me. I gave up smoking, but I don't want to give up drinking completely. Although at times I haven't had a drink now for a couple of days. I had I'm starting to take the advice have alcohol-free days. When I do have alcohol these days, I don't have much. I'm having a lot less than I ever did. So I'm doing this. I'm crashing it. Now, narcissism, it's invisible. We can't see it. We don't know what it is. I'm not even certain that it's hereditary. I've thought for some time, it's mainly, passed on from one generation to the next. But if somebody, say a person boasts, they're in a job, for example, and they boast, and they criticise others, their co-workers or something, and then they start, I work all these hours, go to the boss and peddle guilt and shame. And they get away with it, and then they learn how to manipulate the outcome so that they start climbing up the ladder. And so the narcissism is being pumped in from everywhere. It seems acceptable. It's okay to stretch the truth. Look, it's okay to lie. Everybody lies, don't they? And once you can accept that you can lie, well, then you can really lie about everything to get the outcome that you want. But what's actually happening is you're just getting a greater and greater build-up of narcissism. And that's happening everywhere. I believe it's happening everywhere. Now, we've got a little problem in the world because I think that happened. That's why we used to have wars. Or we have wars. It builds, and then there's huge war because, let's face it, both sides get narcissistic. And so the only way to resolve the problem is, all right, let's fight. Let's kill one another. And then that'll, you have a huge fight, and then everything slows down, and people say, no, we don't want that. No, that's the war to end all wars. We don't want another war like that. And then up she goes again, up. So we have another war. Oh, God, and huge, even more people killed. That's it, the war to end all wars. But now, we'll have a war to end all wars, and it won't be our choice anymore. It will be the fact that we nuke one another, and we get this mad situation, mutually assured destruction. So it won't. The choice will be, we'll be in heaven. Yep, and it'll be taken out of our hands. But my point is, what is the point of complaining about somebody who has a mental illness, or that could be, some of the more, you know what I'm talking about, the ridiculous things that are happening to us. They're ridiculous. But so is an alcoholic. And an alcoholic doesn't care. They have no empathy. Couldn't give a stuff. Dutch courage. Do whatever I want. Until they sober up and they go, oh my God, so. But with narcissism, there is no sobering up. Only if you look at this diagram and look at it and think, maybe I do a bit of that, maybe I do a bit of this, maybe I criticise, maybe I accuse people of being things. Maybe I've got a touch of poison in me as well, because that's how I see it. I see it like a poison, but it's also a very contagious thing. It comes in via TV, it comes in, from the workplace, it comes in from socialisation. It comes in everywhere. It's contagious, but I look at it poison. And while I can't have any poison because I need to be creative, but alcohol's also a poison. I mean, let's face it, it is. It's a mild form of poison. It drives you mad. So does narcissism. Yeah. So what I guess I'm saying is, I'm starting to see this as an operating system, as a mental operating system for humans. And narcissism, I see as a virus. So this tends to be a built-in security, gets rid of the virus. But when next time you're actually going off about feminists and women or whatever, just ask yourself, are you sure it's not a mental illness you're going off at, or a mental, not even an illness? What is, it's no different from alcoholism, as far as I can see. So it's you're up against alcoholism, whatever it is. So if can you see what I'm driving at? It's Maybe you've got to look at it a different way. This is what this is what I've been trying to say. Maybe just walk away. That's really, what else can you do? What's the difference between sitting at a park bench and getting abused by an old drunk in an overcoat and copying what we're copying now? What is the difference? Maybe we've just got to walk away together and say, right, we're going over here. If you want to come over into this zone, then sober up. Sorry, that's just how it is. Yeah, if you're an alcoholic, that's fine, but I'm not going to talk to you when you're drunk anymore. There is no point. You're going to go somewhere else when you want to be drunk. Okay? Maybe that's what this does. And it changes things. Yeah, so yep, okay, fine. You said whatever you said. You did whatever you did. Yep, fine. If you keep doing it's draw a line in the sand, walk away from that park bench and go somewhere else. Don't sit there and fight with the drunk. There is no point fighting with a mental illness. None. All you can do is walk away, and it's up to them. If they want to follow you, then they have to sober up. That's how I see it. Okay, that's what's come out of this whole thing. I can't see it any other way of doing it, because you cannot fight with a person in denial. They'll just deny everything. No, I'm perfectly fine, and you are pissing against the wind. That's my opinion, actually. Sorry, I'm probably lecturing here, and I shouldn't be. But I've said it, I've done it, and I'm not going to change it. It's good talking to you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.